All right, halftime in Portland. It is 54-50 in favor of the home team. The Kings, it just seems like during this stretch, and when I mean this stretch, I'm talking about the last 10 to 14 days, always seem to have just one of those awful quarters. And that was the second quarter, guys, where they only scored 20 points, Ryan. I mean, the other night in Minnesota, we saw a 12-point third quarter. I mean, it's puzzling to me.
Yeah, in the second quarter, Mike Brown was certainly looking for answers. He played darn near the entire bench, Jerry, and it just didn't turn out in his favor. What are you seeing, Jerry?
Well, yeah, I don't think he got what he wanted there. Obviously, Isaac Jones and Jay Crowder have been nice pickups. Obviously Crowder started, but Isaac Isaac's given him a little something, but the bench overall not enough. But the starters themselves, I mean, just very sloppy, careless turnovers,
Yeah.
and too much dribbling, and cold shooting. I mean, now
Hey,
you know.
sorry, Jerry.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think I don't know that I thought that second quarter, just the dribbling was just overdone. Just not enough passing and ball movement.
And another injury, Kevin Herter rolled his ankle and he will not return. 54-50, Portland at the half. DeAndre Ayton playing very well. The one thing that would concern me if I'm Sacramento right now is Anthony Simons did nothing in that first half. And he's a guy that they have to have score if they're going to win.
Yeah, he's one of their few veterans that is available. I mean, so many of their key guys, Grant, and of course Scoot Henderson and Thibault. But Simon is a guy, one of those guys you think in a game like this would be good for 2025, but he hasn't been a factor at all.
Yeah, he had 30 against Indiana a couple of days ago. In the first meeting in Sacramento, he wasn't very good either. He only had 12. He's very streaky, so I would not be surprised if it continued, knock on wood.
Yeah. What's your biggest concern from that first half, Jerry, looking into the third and fourth quarters?
Well, I mean, I think the pace should favor the Kings, but it's not. Basically, it's favoring the Portland Trailblazers because they're doing a better job of making shots and getting down the floor and moving the ball. They're doing to the Kings what the Kings should be doing to them. And like I say, I just think in the half court we're just seeing way too much dribbling and taking too much time to get into anything. So. They've got to straighten it out. And I mean, obviously, Mike Brown knows that 13, 14 turnovers, that's going to get you beat against anybody.
Yeah, Ryan, we talk about this all the time. They had 13 assists and 14 turnovers in the first half. If that duplicates itself in the second half, the Kings will lose this game.
Well, they had 10 assists in the first quarter. So the second quarter, they barely moved the ball. To Jerry's point, and too much dribbling. It has to get better. There's a number of things we can point to, but the thing I'm concerned about, Grant, Jerry, is they're being out hustled. They're getting killed in the paint right now. They gave up 8 offensive rebounds, and then you send them to the line with 6 minutes left in the quarter. There's no reason you should be in the bonus with 6 minutes left against this team.
Yeah, and they really, they're just beating you on, as you point out. I think just beating you on hustle plays, and they're making some shots, but basically just out scrapping the Kings, and that's got to change. That's got to change, and we'll know early in the third if it's going to, because the Kings got to come out and clean their act up here if they're going to get the win. And certainly if they do, they start taking care of the ball, moving it. I think the shots will fall, and this is a team that Blazers, if you can start making shots, you can get back and set your defense. You can guard these guys.
Well, again, 54-50 at the half. I think the Kings are going to have a big second half. I think they're going to win. So I'm still confident. Listen, they're better than Portland. I'm going to say they're going to score 110. I think maybe the game will be a little closer than I forecasted on the pregame show. I think they'll win this game 110 to 104. What do you think, Ryan?
Go ahead,
Jerry.
Ryan. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Jerry. I got you.
Okay, well, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I just don't believe it's possible for the Kings to play as poorly as they did in that second quarter. So I really am expecting a 108 to 103 win, something like that.
Yeah, this season the Blazers either lose by 19 or win by 10. I'm going to say it's closer to the losing by 19. I'm with you guys. I think it's Kings by about 13 tonight.
Okay, good. So we'll hope that when we're on the post game show, we are correct. Minnesota won at home tonight. They snapped their 4-game losing streak. They beat the Clippers by a point. And those Memphis Grizzlies, you better not take your eye off the Memphis Grizzlies. Nobody's talking about them in the West. They're getting their mojo going. The Kings will see them on the first game of the road trip next week. It's only a 2-game trip. They go to Memphis and the next night at San Antonio. And the Memphis Grizzlies right now are fourth, gentlemen, fourth in the West at 12-7.
Yeah, one thing that I think a lot of us have forgotten about is Marcus Smart is on the Grizzlies and he's playing. You know, he was hurt pretty much all of last year and early in the part of the season. And of course, Desmond Bane is back, look kind of still working for his get his game back together. But yeah, they're for real. I mean, if they stay healthy, they can make a run for that top 4 spot, I think.
Plus 8.3 in the net rating category. Can't lie against that, Jerry.
No, that tells you. That tells you.
Yeah.
And, like I say, there's only about 4 or 5 teams right now that are over 8, or about 4,
That's right.
maybe, and that tells you who's established in power early.
And they played without Morant for a couple of weeks too. So, think about that. But, Kings have their own injuries. No DeMar DeRozan tonight. Herter just rolled his ankle. We know Trey Lyles is out for a couple of weeks. Our second time seeing Jay Crowder, Ryan, what did you think of him in the first half?
I thought he was fine. You want him to knock down a shot or two. I thought that on defense, he's not sticking out too bad like a sore thumb. I think he's a little bit of an enforcer, a little bit of a talker, more of a presence than an impact. How about you, Jerry?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Jay Crowder's doing what Jay Crowder has done for his career. He's not as mobile as he once was. But he understands. He's a veteran. He's smart. He's tough. He knows what he needs to do, and he'll take open shots, move the ball, try to play defense. Get in somebody's head a little bit. He'll kind of smack somebody once in a while.
Yeah.
And
I'm envisioning him now fitting in on when DeMar DeRozan comes back and Crowder goes to the bench. I'm thinking about how Mike Brown will use him on the bench. I think he could really help out the bench just based on a small sample size of seeing him with the Kings. Again, I don't want to get the cart ahead of the horse here because I think he's got real limitations right now, but I could see him helping the bench somewhat.
Well, he's not going to make a lot of mistakes. That's one thing. And he's going to be willing to do the dirty work. And so, yeah, I mean, it gives you another guy I think that will play within himself, which is the key, because we're seeing some guys trying to playing outside their bodies, I think, during that second quarter. But I think he adds a good bit, as does Isaac Jones. I think you've got a nice young potential player there with him.
Yeah, I loved what Jay Crowder said after last game. And remember, it's only his second game. He's got to work himself into this and work himself into a better shape. But he said you can't skip steps when you want to win. And I think that's something that if it can be applied to this team, can go a long ways.
Well, yeah, he's been there. He's done it. Now he's had, he's never been a lead guy, of course. But I think that it looks like that's a good addition because he brings, in my mind, he and Isaac Jones both bring toughness that they really need and didn't have enough of.
Yeah. Another reason why I think the Kings are going to win this game is I don't think De'Aaron Fox will have a second half like he had a first half. He did not play well in that first half by his standards. He also had 4 turnovers. That's got to change. He didn't shoot the ball well. I think he'll play much better in the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah, he's too good. He's too good to have another half like that. And it just, like I said, give him a little more space. I think, he's kind of forced the issue a little bit himself, but he really hasn't had room to operate very well.
And if you're going to give the ball to Domas, conversely, give him some more space too. He is just not good this year at passing on the interior. It has been bad. He's got 4 turnovers as well, Grant.
Yeah, he just had a lot of turnover problems this year, and 4 is too many. I mean, obviously you're on pace for 8, both he and Fox. If that happens, the Kings will not win this game. They just, again, look at the assist to turnover ratio, guys. Jerry, you always talk about this. Ryan, we talk about that on the post-game show. That is so indicative of this team and a lot of teams really. But for the Kings, maybe less this year because of the style they're playing. But assist to turnover ratio is so key.
Well, yeah, basically they've been a good assist to turnover ratio team for the last couple of years. but
Yes.
they're not. But there haven't been this year, and especially of late. So they're just have been barely about a 1.5 ratio of assist turnover, and they should be well over 2. And that's a big difference in the league. So yeah, and really, like I say, turnovers from Domas, he's in a lot of traffic trying to make plays that aren't there, as is Fox, and they're guys that everything flows from them, so they got to do better.
Hey, Ryan, isn't it interesting to see the Kings' free throw percentage without DeMar DeRozan on the floor?
Yeah, it falls down a little bit, but Grant, I do like the fact that they got there 16 times. That is big to me, and that affects the assist to turnover ratio as well. But like Jerry said, they're only going 2-1 when they win by 16 or more. So you got to find a way to fix that. But make your free throws, make them, Jerry.
Just make them. They're called free throws. They're free. They're free.
Yes.
Points.
Is that deceiving? Right. Should it be free?
Well, again,
I don't know if you guys have thought about, but it's kind of interesting almost when Domas is your best 3-point shooter and almost your best free throw shooter. That's almost. I mean, and certainly don't want to take away from what he's doing because he's doing great at both those. But it's like that shouldn't be that way.
No, sure. It should not. Again, we have to put the importance on this second half. You know, this is not a good road trip if you lose this game. It's just not. This team needs to start beating the teams they're supposed to beat. We've already seen several games this year with losses against teams that they had better talent than. That will come back and bite you in April. This is a game. I know it's on the road. I know Portland's normally a tough place to play, but let's not kid anyone. All right. Portland is 7-12 for a reason. Okay. They are beatable. They don't have some of their best players on the floor, including Jeremy Grant. Go out and win the game. Don't care how you do it. You need to get a W here.
Yeah, just to summarize, I mean, if you can't get it in the playoffs if you're under 500. So at some point you better start winning games.
Guys, this is a must win. If they don't win, they're eliminated from the NBA Cup.
Oh God, I won't be able to sleep all weekend. Darn it.
Must win.
Will that mean we won't get to see any more of these ugly floors?
Oh my God, it's embarrassing for the league. Just embarrassing. All right, guys. Jerry, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, sir.
Well, I will, and enjoy a lot more if you guys bring home the win like you did last game. I thought you did a solid effort.
Thank you.
So keep up the good work.
Napes was diving on
Sunday,
the floor.
Okay.
Take care. We'll talk to you on Sunday. Bye-bye now. Jerry Reynolds joining us here at the half. Rhino, again, I think the Kings win this game. I think Fox has got to play better. I think that the Kings they have much more talent than Portland on the floor right now. That's the plain and simple.
If the Kings go on half the run they did in Minnesota at the end of the game, 30-6, you can put this team away right away, Grant.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you after the game, everybody. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.